Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Jeremy Horn to defeat Elvis Sinisek. And I'm here to talk about Bogdan Guskov versus Volkan Oezdimar. Volkan Oezdimar is 18-7, 33 years old, and he's giving up an inch of height to 30-year-old Guskov, who is 14-2. Guskov's making his debut here, and I'd say at the very least he's an exciting fighter. This guy's got 14 wins, all 14 by submission, 12 by knockout, 2 by submission. And 10 of those knockouts come in round 1. He's got the touch. No doubt about it. He's got the touch. And I'll say this, he's beaten nobodies. Dog shit competition, as I like to say. Straight up dog shit competition. But still, if you can beat dog shit and look good doing it, whatever. Welcome to the UFC. His 2 losses come one by knockout, one by decision. I wasn't able to see the decision. It was some years back. But the knockout comes to this guy, Vyacheslav Vasilevsky, and he TKO'd him in round 1, and it didn't look good. This guy, Vasilevsky, is built like fucking Josh Emmett at heavyweight, or light heavyweight, whatever. And I'm sure he's very fucking powerful, but he still knocked him out with a jab. It was a jab that got the job done. And then he followed up with a big right hand and whatever. But the jab certainly got the ball rolling, and just not a good look for Guskov. As dangerous as he is, I have doubts about his vulnerability from that one punch. And that's what I really have to look to. If you know from watching me, I just look to the losses, really. But, yeah, not a good look. And everywhere else, I can't trust him anywhere. I can only trust his danger, because that's the one thing that's consistent enough, even against dog shit competition, where it reveals, enough about him as a fighter. But anywhere else, I have doubts about him. I think Volkan Oezdimar is better than him. I don't know if he's slicker on the ground submission-wise and whatever, but I think overall Volkan Oezdimar is the better fighter in the clinch and on the ground. And at range, Volkan Oezdimar might be the smaller guy here, but he's a good striker himself, and Volkan's been in there at a high level for a long time and only ever been knocked out once. It was to Yuri Prochazka. Yuri Prochazka knocked him out 3 years ago, whatever the fuck, but knocked him out against the cage. Well, he knocked him against the cage, really. But Volkan, that's it. The one loss could be to the current UFC champion if there weren't any injuries or whatever. And the other TKO loss comes to a former UFC champion, Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier pounded him out on the ground, crucifixed him, worked him over, and that was in a title fight. So no shame in his TKO losses, and the one loss to Yuri Prochazka is not enough to make me doubt his chin. And on that alone, I'd pick Volkan Oezdimar to win this fight. I've seen him fight hard, scratch and claw at a high level for many tough decision wins and even losses as well. He's been in there very close fights with Dominic Reyes. That was a loss. Alexander Rakic, OSP in his debut. That was a fantastic debut victory, even though I thought OSP won. That was a very big win for somebody's debut. And then he got 2 knockouts after that against Jimmy Manuwa and Misha Serkinov, and that's what got him the title shot. Volkan Oezdimar was, I thought every time this guy won, it'd be a knockout in 30 seconds after that first run in the UFC. But since then, he's only knocked out Ilir Latifi, I believe, which there's no fucking shame in that. Ilir Latifi's a fucking awesome fighter. But still, Volkan Oezdimar, I think it's been some time since he's shown his danger, and this could be the fight very much where he shows that danger. But it almost bodes well for him, just, seeing him scratch and claw to win these fights, grueling on the ground in the clinch, and I just trust him more. So I'm taking Volkan Oezdimar to win this fight. These odds would make sense to me if he had a weaker chin. But him at minus 160, yeah, that's just... The guy Bogdan Guskov, it's not like... he looks awesome. He does. But the competition is just dog shit. And in defeat, the one I've seen him in, he didn't look good. It was a major strike against his durability. And Volkan Oezdimar, even though he hasn't shown it in a while, he's dangerous. He's got 12 TKO victories in his 18 wins. So I'm taking Volkan to win. I think if somebody's chin was to fail, and these guys both have power, it would be Bogdan. And I think anywhere else, Volkan Oezdimir wins the fight. Maybe not dominant early on, but over the course of 15 minutes, I think he out-hustles him in general and outworks him in just about any position. Bogdan does have one rear naked choke and one triangle choke in round 2, actually. So there's that. And Volkan Oezdimir's been tapped out twice. He was tapped out by this good fighter, Kelly Anderson in Bellator, and by Anthony Smith. But both were deep into the fight, and those are really good, well-versed fighters. The guy Kelly Anderson was a good fighter. So I'm just taking Volkan Oezdimir because it makes sense. And I'm taking him to win. Minus 165. I would think he'd put away Bogdan, but the way Volkan Oezdimir's looked later and whatever, I wouldn't be surprised if he stuffed him into the clinch, tried to rip him to the mat even. I'm just taking Volkan to win the fight. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit. Check out my other videos.